Our correspondent Alexei Rajevsky there will discuss the possible causes of this crash. Let's now talk to Medić. He's an airline pilot. I said he'd be with us a bit earlier on. Here he is now. Sir, thanks for taking the time to be with us. Appreciated. We've heard a recording tonight purporting to be the actual conversation between air traffic controllers and the crew of this doomed flight. We're trying to verify it still. But judging by this recording, something obviously did go very wrong, as heard on the recording at the very last moment. I wonder what that could be, do you think?
Well, there are many things that could go wrong in such an approach. As one of your earlier participants in the conversation said, the aircraft was empty at that time, so it would have been a little trickier to land because it will float for an empty aircraft. Will sometimes float down the runway for a while, since the aerodynamics of the wings are sufficient to keep it aloft even with engines fully on idle. But again, this should have not been an issue on runway 20 at the airport, which is 3,000 meters long, and should have had plenty of room for this particular aircraft to stop.
And if you did run into a problem, surely there should be sufficient space at the end of the runway, one would have thought, to be able to try and make some sort of emergency landing without hitting the road at the end, no?
Well, the thing is, the road appears to be several hundred meters beyond the runway end. And it all depends on where they touch down, because the investigation will now be looking into two different avenues of approach. They'll be looking at technical failure, such as a discussion already arising amongst pilots about possible failure with the weight on wheels switches, which are basically designed to let the aircraft know once it's made a firm touchdown, so all the braking systems could be fully deployed, or possibly into pilot error. Now, this is still very early after the accident to speak of the actual cause of the accident. But when an empty aircraft overruns the runway in weather that, I have to say, was not as severe as was originally thought, with just a little bit of a crosswind and some snow, but nothing major, then you have to wonder what happened then. Were the pilots able to recover this and missed something, or was this completely beyond your help?
Well, we gather this plane last underwent full maintenance just a fortnight ago, 2 weeks ago, and the Czech airport it left said it was fully operational when it took off at least. So can you read anything into that? I mean, you said it could be technical failure. Just because it takes off okay doesn't necessarily say that problems can't develop en route, I guess.
Yes, the discussion that's ongoing about the possible technical failure of some systems in no way reflects on the aircraft as a type or on the design of the type, because the 204 has proven to be quite a robust aircraft. The charter company in question has 8 of them in service, and this is basically an equivalent of the Boeing 757. And these are medium-range jets that had very little problems in the past.
So it's actually a tad bigger than the, say, A319 or the Boeing 737, workhorses of the sky, both of them. What about technologically and safety and safety mechanisms on the plane? Are they all on par?
Of course. I mean, any modern aircraft is basically on par with any other modern aircraft. Each will have its own quirks, but nothing major or nothing that could endanger day-to-day operations. Otherwise, they wouldn't be certified.
Medić, thanks very much for being with this airline pilot as you are. Much appreciated. We appreciate your thoughts there.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Now, recap of the break.